Are you a Jesus-loving woman who overexercises and deprives herself of food, desperately trying to obtain a goal weight on the scale? And yet, at the same time, you strive to be a healthy version of yourself by eating well and feeling fit? Hi, I'm Andrea, and I was running on the same hamster wheel for over 20 years. My toxic body image and eating disorder stole my joy and self-respect. Thankfully, God was always with me, fighting my battles and blessing me with the grit to reclaim my life. I'm off the hamster wheel, but I see you still stuck in the cage, and I want to help free you too. Journey with me every week. I'll share personal stories, tools, mindset shifts, and the practical steps I took to heal my unhealthy relationship with food and exercise. I don't believe food and exercise are the problems. I believe they're part of the solution. Instead, I'll teach you how your mindset and faith are the keys to healing. Get ready to navigate your newfound path to healing. Get ready to reclaim your self-worth. Get ready to realign with your God-given identity. For in this identity is where you find true wellness and healing. When you are well, your gifts shine into the world. Shine on, babe. Let's do this. I'm Andrea Carroll, and this is Good Vanilla. Hey, pretty peeps. I'm quickly popping in here before we get rolling to communicate that I am not giving medical advice. I'm giving energetic, emotional, and mental support for women on their health journeys. I'm here because I care. I hope sharing my story will in some way help you on your unique path. Okay, let's dive in. Hey friend, thank you for hanging out with me today. I am so happy to have you here. It means the world to me that you are taking time out of your busy schedule and tuning in. I want to give you a big hug. If you can just visualize right now, or if I could somehow send you a hug, an audio hug, I'd be wrapping my arms around you and giving a big hug, because today I want you to give yourself a big hug. And to be more specific, I want you to give your inner child a big hug. What is your inner child? Your inner child is the younger version of yourself. And it's interesting because each of us has an inner child inside of us. So, you could look at it as when you're 7 years old, you're a little bit older than that or younger than that, any age that when you first think of yourself as a child, that is the version of your childhood that I want you to visualize as I'm speaking to you today. You may have heard about inner child work, and it's very important, and it's probably important for you, if you have not yet done any, to do so, because if you are listening to this podcast, if you have listened for a number of weeks, or if you are a loyal listener, thank you so much for listening. But if you are one of those people that come back and are just needing this information, I can guarantee you need inner child work. Because your experiences as a child affects who you are as an adult. It affects the way you think, and the way you act, your beliefs as an adult. It has so much more influence on who you are today than you probably could imagine. And I have done a number of inner child work, and I don't know how many of those things I'm going to share, but one of them I want to share with you. And I want you to do this, but it happened to me accidentally. So I was aware of inner child work. I've been aware of it now for, I would say, almost 3 years. And here's the thing. Once you have awareness of tapping into that inner child, you will be able to access that and go there so much easier. You will have awareness and you'll be able to see, oh, this is why right now emotionally I'm coming undone. So if there are certain experiences that you are having as an adult and you start questioning, gosh, why does this get me every time? Why is it that every time this happens, I just lose it? I can't handle myself. Well, you probably need to do some inner child work. You need to go back and look at your childhood experiences and find the link, because it's a bridge. Your inner child we need to rebuild the bridge between you and your inner child so you can walk back and forth over it, back and forth as needed, because there is a lot of wisdom. Your inner child is full of wisdom. But the one thing your inner child lacked that you have now, hopefully, is that emotional development, that personal growth. That when you experienced, whether it was something traumatic or heartbreaking or just really upsetting, whatever you experienced as a child, or whatever experiences you had that you perceived as, they probably were traumatic, but here's the other thing. Your perception is relative to you. And that is why it has to be your inner child work that has to be done. But so when you're a child and you experience something sad or something really hard, your ability as a 7-year-old, I keep going to a 7-year-old for me. I always see myself as a 7-year-old. But when your ability to regulate your emotions as a 7-year-old is probably not as good as your ability to regulate your emotions as an adult. So doing inner childhood work is taking that developed emotional intelligence, walking across that bridge to your inner child and hugging them, taking their hand and saying, I see you, I hear you, you are loved, and I understand you. And it's okay. I understand that this was hard. But you're going to be okay. You are strong. You are brave. You are wonderful. You are just a wonderful soul. And when we can walk that bridge back to our inner child and have that connection, your ability to move on and past whatever your past traumas are, your past heartaches, your anything in the past that was really debilitating or feels like it really threw you off your path in life, if you can walk back over that bridge and console yourself as an inner child, you can heal that wound, those old wounds, and then you can move on. You can move forward. And I've done this with a number of traumatic experiences or things that happened to me or were said to me, or even situations where I perceived it in a way just because of my personality. Because remember, that's another thing. We've talked so much about personality on this show, about your personality and how that can determine the way you perceive your life experiences and then building your beliefs around that and acting out of that. But I have gone back so many times to certain things, and I've had to reframe or talk to my inner child and work through that. And it truly either has healed that wound completely, or it has mended it so much that it does not even touch me to the extent that it used to. It does not give me that reaction that it used to. It does not have that power over me anymore. So I very much encourage you to explore this. Have your mind open to inner child work. So, number 1, tapping into your inner child. And it's something as simple as what I said. Like, you can visualize whatever comes naturally to you. It's almost like get into a meditative state and you sit there and you want to access your inner child. And you can visualize a bridge walking back to your 7-year-old self, your 12-year-old self, your 17-year-old self. Those are numbers I go to a lot. Maybe you do too. But visualize that bridge back to that version of you. And don't force anything. Don't have any expectations. Just let it happen. Because once you have that initial connection, then it's almost like there are going to be situations and experiences where your inner child is going to walk across the bridge and come to you. And I feel like that happened to me in this one experience, okay? And I'm going to tell you this story. And I want you to do this for yourself, what I'm going to tell you right now. But like I said, it happened accidentally. But what came out of this blew my mind. I was over at my parents'. I would say it was about a year or so ago. And my mom had a bunch of photographs out because occasionally she's going through things, to get rid of or to give to me. And there was this photograph of me as 12-year-old Andrea, in one of my favorite seasons, my favorite season ever, summer, doing one of my favorite things ever, being out on the water. There was this picture of me standing on the front of my parents' pontoon boat, and I think I'm holding hands with my cousin. And I'm looking. The photograph was taken where I was facing away from the camera and I was turning my head and looking back at the camera, and I had this huge smile on my face, just lit up. I was in summer and it was hot outside and I was in the water. I was having fun. But full disclosure, okay, the swimsuit I'm wearing, it was this bright orange swimsuit, kind of like a halter top. It was kind of like a tankini in a way, but it had like the shorts. So it was like a tankini, but it had like board shorts with it. It was like this bright orange color. And I remember what I thought and felt about myself, about my body at that age. When I was 12, I did not like the way I looked one bit. I was getting very close to being at my wit's end of my internal darkness, dealing with the way and the shame and the guilt I had around the way I looked. Okay, so inwardly, I was about near broken, like ground floor broken, because then a year or so later, I started working out every day and I lost 30 pounds in 3 months and I dove headfirst into an eating disorder. But externally, just lit up, smile on my face. You would have no idea that I was dealing with this inside. But when I picked up this photograph, I was sitting at my parents' house and I was sat there and I looked at that photograph and I remember how I viewed myself and the beliefs I had about my body and how unworthy I felt. I felt like a worthless, whatever. But then with my adult eyes, the experiences I had been through, I looked at that photograph and I thought, wow, you look great. You look strong. You look happy. How could I have ever thought those things about you? And I was so surprised because I sat there and I was thinking this, and all of a sudden, these words just went through my mind. I remember thinking, I am sorry. I looked at that 12-year-old girl in that picture, that I knew that her smile on the outside did not reflect what was happening inside. And I looked at her and I said, I am sorry. I am sorry I said all those unkind things to you. I'm sorry I was so mean to you. Because with my eyes today, with the personal development and the healing and the work that I've done, I could look at myself and I could see me for who I was. I was this light that just wanted to be understood, wanted to be loved, wanted to be accepted. But here's the thing, you guys. I had to accept myself, and I was not letting that happen. And it's terrible. I was seeking validation and acceptance and love outwardly. But I never allowed it. I never allowed myself to love myself when I was 12. So I look back and I said, I am sorry. I love you. And in that moment, I just had this feeling of, it's almost like I could physically feel something connect inside me, come together. It was like something was mended. An old wound of the way I spoke to myself, the shame and the guilt and the abuse, what I told myself. And I was so enthralled. Okay, so if you have body image issues, you probably know what body dysmorphia is, or you are maybe familiar with it. But man, in that moment, I could see how prevalent body dysmorphia was for me. Because when I saw that picture of me, like I said, I was like, gosh, you were strong and look at how beautiful your body was. But that is not something I told myself then. Not even close. You're probably going to hear the sliding door open. Sorry, I got to let my dog in from outside here. But go find what age is that for you? What age are you feeling that you need to build that bridge to that inner child? Is it when you were 7? Is it when you were 12, 17? What age? What is a memory? And it is hard and it can be so painful. But when you face it, you will overcome it. You will have that mending. You will feel that inside of you, that reconnecting with your soul and with yourself. It needs to be done. You have to do this. And if you can pinpoint that age, what I want you to do is try to find a photograph. And I don't mean like a digital one. And more than likely, if we're the same age, you probably have stacks, or maybe your parents do. Ask them. But it's something when you hold that picture in your hand versus just looking at the digital, okay? It helps seeing it on a screen too, but if you can hold that picture in your hand, because it just kind of takes you back to that mentality, that hands, like just being immersed in that, in your past, and it really helped me connect more. I feel like holding that physical photograph in my hand. But you guys, that was all accident. That was an accident. I did not go over there asking for a photo. My 12-year-old self, I need to go talk to her. Do you have a photograph so I can? No. I it happened by accident. And I really think it's because I have done this work before, this inner child work, and I have built that bridge, and I feel like that it's a two-way street. And I feel like that my 12-year-old Andrea walked halfway across the bridge and was calling to me. And then I went and I met her in the middle. And then we probably skipped rocks and stuff and looked at turtles and laughed. But you need to do this. You need to go back. Ooh, what's going on, buddy? You need to go back. Sorry for the dog barking. But you need to do this. Please do this. And when you do, send me a message, reach out. Let's talk about this. I want to hear what revelation you have had. I want to hear what age is it for you? What's the inner childhood age? What's the age that you need to go back and make amends with? What age do you need to go back and apologize to and tell that you love them and that you see them and you hear them and you understand them and validate their experience? What age? Tell me. Send me an email or DM me on Instagram. You can, in the show, in the link under this episode, you'll be able to find my link for my website and Instagram. But we need to talk about this. You need to take action on this, and then to be held accountable for it, you need to reach out and start the conversation on it. Because if you have an eating disorder, if you have toxic body image, if you are trying to heal wounds like this in your life, these are the type of things you need to be doing. Okay? Whew. Okay. So another big hug. Another digital hug, audio hug is coming through, wrapping my arms around you, because I know you can do this. You've got this in you. You can do it. Start building the bridge to that version, that inner child of yourself that needs your attention, that needs you to tell them that they are loved, that they are valued, that they are worthy. Okay? Go do that. Let me know how it goes for you. I love you so much. You got this, okay? You have a great rest of your week, friend. I will talk to you soon. Psst. Hey girl, I gotta tell you something. Did you know your eating disorder is keeping secrets from you? Yeah, it's a total butthead. But don't worry, I'm here for you. In fact, created a freebie for you to download. It's the 4 secrets your eating disorder doesn't want you to know. And these are 4 things that I wish I would have known years ago, back when I felt like I just could not get my head above the water, no matter how hard I tried. I felt like wave after wave was crashing on me. These are the secrets that have really set me free, knowing these truths about myself. And they are things your eating disorder is trying to keep from you so it can keep control over you. Don't stay in the dark, friend. The link is in the show notes. Go download it now. Hey there, beautiful. Do you feel like every step forward in your healing journey, you are met with setback after setback? It's like it doesn't matter how much effort you put into feeling better about your body, feeling better about your relationship with food. It doesn't matter what it is. Whatever you are trying to heal in your life, do you feel like the work you are putting in is constantly being erased by a trigger? Well, I hear you. I'm seeing all the comments online about people trying to heal their relationship with their body and with food, and it seems like triggers are something that are relentless in your life. They will not give up their grip on you. Here's the thing. Triggers are not going away, but there's something you can do about it. You have the tools, you have the capability within you to fight back. And to help you do this, I created a little workbook, a free download for you to get right now and start working on fighting back against your triggers. It's my 3-step process to tame your triggers. I walk you through, there are journal prompts in the workbook that walks you through exactly what you need to do to set up your own plan so that you are prepared the next time a trigger strikes. Friend, take back your life. Take back the control. Don't let triggers have control over you. The link for the download is in the show notes. Go download it now and take the first step to defending your life and defending your well-being. You got this, friend. Hey there, lovely souls. It means the world to me that you took time out of your busy schedule to come and hang out with me today. But here's the thing. You made time for yourself also. You put your self-worth and your mental wellness first by listening. Did you know that you can help me spread my message to others that so desperately need it? Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Rate and review my show. And hey, I want to hang out with you more. Come over on Instagram, follow me at Andrea_Caro, and send me a message. Tell me how you're doing. I want to get to know you. I can't wait to hear from you. And until then, shine on, babes.